Great. This is our internal customer conversation for the package stage, and we're going to be working through an agenda which is not being shared. The first item on the agenda is there any objection to moving these meetings to occur on Wednesdays instead of Tuesdays? Dan has a conflict at this time usually on Tuesdays, so I was wondering if there's any objection to just making it so he can attend each month.
Fine with me.
It's good with me as well.
Yep, I got no conflict.
Sweet. Okay, I'll update that. The next one is related. I have a few updates for the dependency proxy. So it is now available on GitLab.com. Thank you, Alex, for scrambling to make sure we got that done right. In the current milestone, we're adding the ability to purge the cache via the API. And then in the next milestone, we'll add the ability to define a cadence for which to purge. There's currently a bug where images are not being pulled from the cache. It's been verified by a support engineer. So we'll tackle that in the next milestone as well. So what's happening now is if you go to pull an image from Docker Hub, it will pull successfully. But then when it goes to pull from the cache, it actually it gives a failure. So hopefully we can work on that in the next milestone. And then the next thing that we want to start thinking about is adding support for caching NPM packages. We have David, one of our backend product developers, added some insight into that. So we're going to try and plan that in probably 13.1, not 13, as 13 is already shaping up to be pretty busy. Any questions on the dependency proxy or concerns? There was some talk about making GitLab rely or use the dependency proxy for pulling images. Is that something that we could start to think about once we resolve the issue that we're currently having?
Was this in regard to like building images for the Helm charts? It's still a hard dependency. The build still happens on a open edition instance. So as long as this isn't part of core, it's kind of it can't be done.
That's right. I remember that now. Okay. Crap. Okay. On the container registry front, the past several milestones, we've really invested effort in optimizing the garbage collection algorithm. We weren't able to optimize it to the point where we could run it for GitLab.com, but many of our customers have been unblocked from that performance work, and it's also informing how we start to work towards zero downtime or online garbage collection. That work is starting now with defining, basically the first step is to move the storage of the Docker manifest from object storage into a database. And there's some discussion that's going on. I think, DJ, you're in it as well, in terms of, do we use Postgres? Do we use an external? Do we need a new instance of Postgres? Or we're sort of driving those conversations now forward. Dan or DJ, anything to add to that?
Yeah, I think at the moment it sounds like the decision to at least be using Postgres has been made. That's what I've seen so far. The how is still in discussion.
Yeah, I think I'm interested to see where it goes as EM. I'm not trying to get in and make technical decisions on part of people that have a clearer idea of how this stuff should work. But I think my concerns are the impact on performance with an unknown new system inside the same cluster / database that we might be using for GitLab and all of GitLab. I don't know how we've tuned the existing instance. We don't seem to have a good, clear way to measure the performance of the current, because it's using the file system right now. So how does that equate to how it would translate into using a data store for the manifest? So there's a bunch of factors here which I think we can work through for sure, but those are the considerations. But having said all of that, we've been given clear guidance that one product, one data store. So at some level, we have to mash those things together and determine whether the same cluster, different database equals the same data store, which I think it does. But That would be the big concern there. Ongoing discussions. This is a necessary step. I think that's yeah, definitely have to move in this direction. Is there any thoughts you want to add to that, DJ, or anyone else?
Yeah, I don't think I have anything to add in the meeting here, other than it seems like discussion is still ongoing there in the issues.
Cool. And we're also making progress. There's an epic now that details the online garbage collection, and there's a proposed plan for how we can enable that. There'll be some migration to switch from not just the database, but actually switch versions of the container registry, and how do we actually run that? So Joam and Haley are working through that plan, and we're adding issues as we go along. I think we're saying that by, Dan, I believe we're targeting like August for having that done and for having the cost of the container registry brought down.
Yeah, I mean, we sort of talked about mid-year, but we've sort of talked in terms of August just because we really have a functional team of 2 people, and so the risks are relatively high in terms of their impact, if not the probability of issues arising. So yeah, we sort of agreed August was a likely delivery, but we really are trying to get something out there by July.
And we ran garbage collection on dev.gitlab.com, and we saw 40% reduction in storage costs, which is not guaranteed because we don't know that the behavior on dev is the same as on gitlab.com, but that's kind of an estimate that I've been throwing out there, that we could see a 40% reduction in cost, which will be great. Okay. We have also, on this front of lowering costs of the container registry, been rolling out Docker expiration policies. So this was a fun one because we rolled it out in 12.8, and we basically only turned it on for new projects as a way of sort of testing it, making sure there weren't going to be any performance concerns, and the community of system administrators really let me have it. They all reached out, we're like, we want the ability to control this on our own. We don't want like the limitation of limiting it to new projects. So right now we're working on a configuration setting that will allow admin to enable it for all projects. And separately, we've also been tuning the performance of the delete service that runs that actually powers the expiration policies, and we've seen a 94% improvement in performance. So we're hoping that we're going to turn the feature on, or allow admin to control this for all projects for self-managed, and then in assuming everything is going okay in 13.1, we'll turn it on for gitlab.com. So hopefully what we'll do is we'll have the expiration policies running automatically for several months, and then when we go to run online garbage collection, we'll be able to clean up as much storage as possible and lower the cost of storage as much as possible. Any questions about or concerns about that topic? No. And then separately, in terms of the package registry, we're currently working on a PyPI supporting PyPI for Python, and also we have a community contribution for Go modules, and we're currently working with that person now. We've had a couple of meetings with them. I'm wondering, would anybody on this call be able to benefit from GitLab having a Go module repository? Would we be able to dog food that at all?
We might be able to use it in the package build to build out some Go modules. Possibly. We need some more research to figure that out.
So we have a meeting with the contributor tomorrow, and Dan mentioned that Steve is working on this or supporting that person. If there are any questions that come to mind that are important for you to consider or use cases, let me know, and I could add those to the discussion, or feel free to just, I linked to the MR here, so you could feel free to reach out in the MR and ask any clarifying questions, because it'd be great if we could build that, if we could start dog fooding that would be awesome.
I think we can link to the agenda to the meeting, Tim. So I'm gonna put that on here if people want to take a look at it. Is that okay?
Thank you. And then next, after Go and PyPI, I'm actually having to make a priority decision. So I have to choose between supporting Ruby gems and supporting Debian or RPM. What would be most useful in terms of dog fooding? I know Ruby, we would have to, it's not, we would need more than just the package manager support. We would also need to proxy the requests as well. And so I was just wondering, how would you choose to prioritize between Linux and Ruby for your own use cases?
I think we could dog food both. So certainly to have the most impact, the Ruby would have to be proxying, but there are a few cases in which GitLab is using internal gems that don't necessarily have to be coming from Ruby gems in terms of style guide gems and linking gems and stuff like that that are GitLab specific. So there's a little bit of dog fooding we could do even without the dependency proxy. But I think definitely our team could be dog fooding debs and RPMs in the omnibus side, and it would be likely our actual builds that we're doing of omnibus feature branches and stuff like that we'd be shoving in.
That's cool. And between Debian and RPM, would you have a preference?
Yeah, in terms of which one first, I think it would be Debian. So that's just our team. I imagine other teams at GitLab might actually have a lot of interest in the Ruby one as well. But.
Okay, but you all are my favorite, so I got to make.
Yeah, I don't know that the we could dog food. I don't know that there would be a huge benefit to us to the team using the included one versus using what we're already doing. But I think forward looking, both for Deb and RPMs, we're definitely at the mercy of our provider for the current package management there. So any steps we can take to slowly be able to do something ourselves, I think is positive from my side at least.
Okay, yeah, and Debian and RPM are both the more popular from the community and from our customers too. So that's why I'm thinking maybe I'll go Debian, Ruby, and then RPM. But I'll let you know once I make a more formal decision.
Yeah, I think we can definitely test the Debian one heavier than we can test the Ruby gems on our team for you.
Okay, perfect. That's all the items I had added to the agenda. Is there anything that I should have brought up that I missed? I'm just so thorough. Well, thanks everyone for your time. I'm gonna stop recording, and I'll let me know, of course. Let me know if anything else comes up.